Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. So thank you, Tom, for that introduction, and a special thanks also to Stephen and to Sarah and Hamish for their engagement since my arrival and giving me their perspectives on the infrastructure issues in New Zealand. It has really helped me get across my responsibilities and gave me some great contacts in the industry. But thank you also for inviting me to speak today on the business case for diversity and inclusion in the infrastructure sector. At the end of the day, it won't be altruism, but business considerations that will drive change. So it's worth considering the value implications of companies pursuing diversity and inclusion strategies. And much of the discussion over these 2 days will be about how we can do things better in the infrastructure space. How can we assure that we have better planning and assessment systems, so we're building an infrastructure network which maximises its catalytic effect on economic growth and is resilient? How can we focus on customer outcomes rather than simply the engineering aspects of infrastructure? Now, infrastructure is a very powerful facilitator of national prosperity. So getting it right can pay very big dividends. And it is about being smarter in the planning, the design, the delivery, the utilisation of infrastructure. And there is so much scope for innovation and efficiency in this area. And innovative thinking is correlated with diversity of perspectives, and that essentially is what underpins the business case. I'd like to add that the inclusion element, I think, is more important than the diversity element. Diversity relates to easily obtainable numbers or targets. It's easy to incorporate D&I into value statements and the like, and this can be well-intentioned. But it is the acting it out, the genuine inclusion of diverse views and perspectives in real strategy formulation and decision-making that really makes a difference. So, like you in the infrastructure sector, we in the Treasury are in the ideas business. And we believe that diverse thinking and inclusive work practices makes us stronger, more resilient, more insightful. And it is embedded in our strategic plan, but also in our day-to-day working. The Secretary of the Treasury not only challenges his own organisation and his colleagues across the public service, but through his work as a champion for change, he's also challenged private sector colleagues to embrace diversity and inclusion as a way of benefiting their organisations and the country. So many people understandably approach the diversity and inclusion subject from a values point of view. That is, it's the right thing to do. But it's difficult to argue objectively that one set of values is superior to another. The case for diversity and inclusion is far stronger if it is built on business outcomes. And there are three aspects of the business case that I would like to address today. The potential for greater innovation and improved decision-making within the organisation, enhanced connection with the customer base, and then what does that all mean for financial results? First, research suggests that diverse groups produce better decisions and greater innovation because they are less likely to be susceptible to groupthink and false consensus. In a PwC survey, 90% of CEOs who had led strategies to promote diversity and inclusion said they were able to attract better talent as a result. And I was encouraged that Dominic picked up this point in his presentation earlier about one of the missing factors in the recruitment challenge. 78% of those CEOs in that survey said they were better able to innovate. Second, when our organisation presents a diverse face to its stakeholders, we make it easier to connect with people and understand their issues. That's particularly important in this country, which is one of the most ethnically diverse countries in the world. For example, in Auckland alone, there are over 200 ethnicities. So in that same CEO survey, 77% of them said that their D&I strategies had improved the ratings, their customers' satisfaction ratings. So that's all fine, but what about the financial outcomes? And there's much in the literature about this, and I've extracted just a few that I think are quite powerful. So McKinsey research says that companies in the top quartile of ethnic diversity and gender diversity are respectively 35% and 15% more likely to financially outperform their competitors. University of Illinois research supports this, finding that companies with high levels of ethnic diversity and gender diversity are respectively 33% and 38% more likely to have above average market share. Credit Suisse, their analysis shows that companies with female board members are 26% more profitable than companies with all male boards. And there's more, but you get the picture. Those stats are not specific to infrastructure, and I'm not aware of any such targeted research. But for the reasons I outlined earlier, that is essentially we're in the ideas and innovation business, I think the results in the infrastructure sector might even be more pronounced than for business generally. Now, each business case is going to differ, but these results from business generally should be sufficient for players in the infrastructure sector to at least make the assessment, make the business case in their own environments. I'll leave you with a prediction that the impact is about to intensify. The reason I say that is because, and this comes from a PwC report as well, millennials are specifically seeking out employers with a strong record on diversity. So that means tomorrow's best and brightest leaders are likely to end up in companies which embrace D&I. Thank you very much.